This tutorial is going to cover some of the basic errors and where to start with troubleshooting your code when things go wrong. To get started, let's talk about a super common one, and that's going to be case-sensitive words. So the majority of the time when writing code, when using keywords like print, while, if, else, etc., you must always type in lowercase. Otherwise, it won't register what you're inputting as a keyword, and it'll flag it as an error when you try to run your code. As an example, let's see how things change when we try to use the print keyword and we change the P from a lowercase to an uppercase P. All right, we have print, hello world. Let's go ahead and run this. As you can see, it's running with no issue. Now, if we change that to an uppercase P, as you'll see, before it even turned flagged it, highlighted there yellow, the word changed from being in pink to black, which indicates that it's no longer being flagged as a keyword. And if we try to run it again, there we go. We have error name print not defined on line 5. If we change it back and run it again, simple as that. So that's just one example of how upper versus lowercase letters can really mess you up when you're writing code. And then on the other hand of things, you have keywords that will only work if you use a capital letter for them, like the Boolean values like true, false, and none. If you just have a look down here, we won't even need to test it out. We can just write true. Automatically it turns pink. We know it's being registered as a keyword. Whereas if we go all lowercase, there you go. Again, just like print before, it's being highlighted. Another common error that people come across when writing code is the incorrect use of quotation marks and brackets. Check that your desired strings turn red by ensuring that you've placed rounded brackets and quotations at both the beginning and the end of your string. It takes only a small typo for you to accidentally place the bracket before the second quotation and vice versa. Let me show you what I mean. As you can see, we have print hello world properly formatted on the top there, and below we have print hello world, but you can see that the bracket was placed before the second quotation marks. And you would hardly clock that error unless you really had a close look at it. And consider that you might have a full page of code written there and you're trying to figure out where that error was. That can be a lot trickier in and of itself. So it's always important to make sure you're writing slowly and carefully, and we always want to have our quotation marks on the inside of our brackets. Another small error that could get flagged when writing code is a misplaced or missing colon. For example, when we're writing a conditional statement like while or if, we must remember to place the colon at the end of our statement. Otherwise, when you try and run your code, it won't register that the conditional or loop is happening, and the code that you would write underneath it would not be properly indented. Let's take a look at this in action. What I've made here is a very basic if conditional, including some input from the user asking what color is the sky. So when we run our code here, what color is the sky? Blue. Yes, that is correct. And as you can see, we have color equals input, which we'd get from the user, and then if color is blue or is equal to blue, and then you can see we have our colon there, print yes, that is correct, else print no, that is incorrect. So let's run it again, and we'll just put in a different color. No, that is incorrect. So we know that our full piece of code here is working. Now let's just change things just a little, and let's remove one of our colons and run. As you can see, we have a syntax error there. Without that colon, our code will not properly run. Another common mistake is putting your colon right after the word if, and the same thing, we're going to get that same error. Now, let's see what happens if we went to write this out, but just entirely forgot to include the colon in the first place. As you can see, everything looks correct on first glance. Everything that we want to be pink is pink. We have all of our statements there, all of our strings, but if we try to run it, bad syntax error. And as you can see, because we don't use our colons and we hit enter, our lines are not properly indented either. So let's go ahead and fix this and put in our colons where we need them. See, and there you go. The errors can be as small as that. The last thing I'd like to mention, which is not necessarily a way that you would flag for an error, but can make a huge difference in looking for errors in your code, is good formatting practices. So as you can see, I just kind of pasted back everything in that we've talked about today, all the different print hello worlds, and our conditional statement and input here. And as you can see, the only thing I did that made it look less neat than before was remove all the spaces that I had put in there. So when you put spaces between lines like this, it shouldn't have any effect on the code when you run it. It's purely cosmetic and keeps your code looking nice and neat. And that's it for a basic tutorial to troubleshooting your errors on Python.